Hello, Cornish Pixies and Dueling Club members alike. Welcome to the second installment of the Harry Potter Redo Project. Of course, there will be a link provided in the box below for the first installment, which was done a couple of months ago because I had started reading the series over again thanks to the brand new series of illustrated editions that, of course, are illustrated by Jim Kay. But today we're going to be continuing and talking about the second part of the Harry Potter saga, and that, of course, is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So, of course, this one picks up right where the Harry Potter story left off. Harry Potter is once again home for the summer, and all of a sudden he gets a mysterious visitor in his bedroom telling him that bad things are going to happen if he goes back to Hogwarts this year. Does Harry listen? Of course he doesn't. And of course, when he gets back and reunites with his friends Ron and Hermione, he is introduced to new teachers, a couple of new menaces, a couple of new annoyances, and more importantly, a very, very dark secret that Hogwarts happens to hold, as well as a little bit more of insight in regards to the wizarding world itself. So this book, of course, is very well done. I really think that it picks up a little bit better in terms of the flow of the story, but what I really like is suddenly how it takes a much darker turn. It is still very much geared towards children and younger adults, but the story itself turns into a very mysterious story where all of a sudden the Chamber of Secrets, which is something that nobody really knew much about except for a couple of the professors, and they find out that there are children that are actually being attacked by some kind of a monster, and it's all because of the fact that they are not considered pure-blood wizards, and that is what is something that really impressed me in regards to the story. The fact that they actually mentioned that within the wizarding world there is conflicts in regards to upbringings and origins of the children, some that are just not having magical powers or in mixed families. That is something that we deal with a lot in the real world in regards to mixed marriages based on races or even different types of creeds. So it really adds a little bit of an important lesson in regards to how the kids do function in the wizarding world. We also have an amazing new professor who is not really amazing per se, but he is such a delight to read about, and that, of course, is Gilderoy Lockhart. But we also have a brand new menace in Draco's father, Lucius Malfoy, who is definitely one of the more evil characters in the story. And let's not forget the lovable yet annoying Dobby the house elf. But as the story does come to a close, we once again get a very interesting insight into the history of Hogwarts, the history of Voldemort, aka He Who Must Not Be Named at this point in time in the book series, and when the story comes to an end, we once again are excited for the next chapter. But before we go into reviewing the movie, which is obviously the next step, we have to go and take a look at the brand new illustrated edition of the Chamber of Secrets. So once again, we're going to start with the book. Of course, we are looking at the second of the illustrated editions, which is illustrated by Jim Kay, and of course written by J.K. Rowling. And this is also just something I was so excited for. The books, as I said, starting with the Sorcerer's Stone Illustrated Edition, is like reading them all over again, because now we have these beautiful pictures to go along with these amazing words that J.K. Rowling wrote all those years ago. I can't get over the fact that it's been such a long time since the first Harry Potter book was written, but reading this book was just so awesome, especially considering the fact that it has been a while, and it was just such a born-again experience, and the book is no different, because you've got, once again, a beautiful cover featuring one of the most iconic moments in the entire book, and you've even got some beautiful pictures on the back with Hedwig floating in the background, as well as a nice little message from J.K. Rowling to Jim Kay. And I also appreciate this little color scheme that's going on, because I'm just going to flip the book jacket over and take off the dust jacket just so you can see the cover itself. It's orange, and ironically the first one was red, and also you got some nice little green writing over here. But the reason why I'm saying that is because, like the book cover, which I'm going to go put back in its dust jacket, there's also these little book dividers that is also the same color. And we already had red, and now we have orange. So my question is, are we going to get a little color scheme going here where we actually do see all the colors of the rainbow through all 7 books? But it is still a small amount of page length. It's not a big, bulky book. And you still have all of these beautiful pictures within the book itself while you're reading it. Little things while you are actually going through the pages, different color schemes on the book itself, as well as a couple of big blown up pages. And also in the beginning of each chapter you have a nice little picture, and you even have these little informational things in there, like in regards to this book when you got the Cornish Pixies, you have a little how-do. You also have some very clever things, like in regards to the Dueling Club, you got like blood splatters on the pages, and in the chapter where Ron was barfing up slugs, you have little slug stains all over the book, and I just think that that's really clever and really cute to add to the atmosphere. Just want to give everybody a fair warning, there are some very scary images in here, especially if you are not a fan of snakes or spiders, so just be very careful and proceed with caution if that is something that is not something that you enjoy. But that's pretty much the second book in this beautiful illustration series, and I'm really excited for The Prisoner of Azkaban. I mean, the fall of 2017 cannot come sooner enough. And of course, as always, before we go into the actual movie, we have to do an unboxing of the Ultimate Edition of the Chamber of Secrets. So join me, won't you, in another awesome unboxing. So let us continue the unboxing so we can take a look at all the other cool stuff that this thing has to offer. We're going to just put it on a slant over here so we can take a look at everything one by one. So of course you've got the movie itself, and you've got this beautiful picture. It's got Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, pretty much the cover of the DVD on the sleeve, as well as Year 2, and when you open it up, you have a couple of menus, as well as the movie itself. So we've got a couple of versions. We've got the movie itself, we've got the extended edition of the movie with additional scenes, which I think really played a big role, unlike in the first one. We've also got a disc of special features, and we've got the gold disc, which includes the second part of the documentary, Creating the World of Harry Potter, and this time we take a look at the characters. And then we open this up a little bit further, and we've got all the little gifties inside. We've got, once again, a little envelope, of course, red to match the color scheme of the box. And when we open it up, we have a digital copy of the film. We have a code for the digital copy of the film, and we have 2 more collector cards like in the first one. This time we've got Severus Snape, and we've got Rubeus Hagrid, and on the back it has the names as well as the card numbers. This one's number 3 and this one is number 4, and it also gives you a little bit of a description of each of the characters. And that pretty much is what's in the envelope, and the final piece that is included in this box is the little book like came with the first one, and this of course is a beautiful little book featuring what is in the documentary on the DVDs, and it's got some beautiful pictures. Of course, we've got the Hogwarts crests of all the houses, and we've got so many awesome pictures. We got everything from sketches to various versions of each of the characters in the movies. Some of them go a little further into all of the other ones, so if you haven't seen the movies yet, these could come as spoilers. And of course, all the additional people that were expanded upon. So many amazing things that this little thing has to offer, and this whole box itself is just absolutely awesome. I'm so glad that I invested in this little Ultimate Edition grouping of films, because they really add so much more dimension to the Harry Potter experience in film. So Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is the second and final one of the Harry Potter films that is directed by Chris Columbus, and unlike the first one, there is definitely much more improvement. The 3 kids who are the main characters get much more better in their acting chops. We also have Draco just being as evil as he always is, played by Tom Felton. We also have Bonnie Wright, who is playing Ginny Weasley, Ron Weasley's younger sister. We get a little bit more insight into her character, and we also get introduced to a whole bunch of other characters, good and bad, including Arthur Weasley, Jason Isaacs playing the devious Lucius Malfoy, and of course we also get Kenneth Branagh, who to me is the highlight of the whole movie, because he is just so stupid and funny all at the same time, and the best part is how he bounces off his personality with the kids, specifically Ron Ron and Harry, because some of the things that come out of their mouths are absolutely hilarious. We also see the kids improving on their wizarding skills, and of course the whole concept of mudbloods versus purebloods is a very emotional side to this story, and the special effects definitely get a little bit better, the story is written much better, but the only disadvantage that I would say in regards to this film is the additional scenes that you can get in the extended edition of the film, I feel were very important and more essential to actually have. Now, granted, it definitely makes the running time longer because this one is much longer than the first one, but it doesn't feel like it lags. It really feels a little bit more fluid and a lot more streamlined, and I feel that those extra scenes would really have improved the film as a whole. Of course, we also do have a couple of differences, and after I reread the book, I was blown away by how many differences there were compared to the movie and the book, and I quite believe that a lot of those important scenes that were taken out actually were some of those extended scenes, especially when it came to additional Hogwarts students and certain points in the plot that you get much more descriptive in the book, but not so descriptive in the film, and it just doesn't make any sense when you finally get it revealed in the film itself. But compared to The Sorcerer's Stone, it is a much better movie, and the story just seems so much better in terms of pace and flow. So I definitely would say that it's a step up, and after this we don't have Chris Columbus directing the films. The films take a much more different turn, sometimes positive and sometimes negative, but we will get into that when we finally get to read The Prisoner of Azkaban Illustrated Edition when it comes out next fall, or hopefully earlier. Let's hope that J.K. Rowling decides to maybe change her mind and maybe put 2 illustrated editions out every single year except for 1. So this is going to actually be the last year, most likely, that I actually review 2 of these in the redo project, just because I didn't get the illustrated edition of The Sorcerer's Stone fast enough. So I'm going to be giving Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets 3 stars out of 4. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please put your comments in the box below. Let's have a conversation on Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And I know it's going to be a while, everybody, but I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next installment of the Harry Potter redo project, and actions speak louder than words.